From what I've learned and watched, it's definitely not that you're really criticizing the other religions, but really just making sure that a Jew isn't in that faith.
Yes, that's true. However,
Every faith, every religion has its purpose, has its place in the world.
so I'm going to be one of these probably outliers on your show. I kind of didn't feel that way growing up. That means when I was a kid and I saw all these, because I grew up in Brooklyn, so you have, a lot of Roman Catholics who are Irish Catholic, Italian, Hispanic. I did feel that there must be something that was taught by the church that somehow filtered in. I mean, weren't born this way, but in truth, Jews for Jesus and other such groups do raise very serious charges against the Jewish faith, and they deserve a response, and people want one. And it is very true that there are many things in the New Testament that are thoroughly true, but whatever is true in the New Testament just isn't new. And anything new isn't really true. I don't criticize Hindus or Buddhists or other religions. I just did a interview in India for an Indian broadcast, and I don't, because they're not involved in evangelizing us. But I do have to respond to very serious charges made against the Jewish faith.
That's interesting because also there are quite a number of, well, I can't say that based on fact, but what I've heard, that quite some Jews will go to Eastern traditions and other faiths.
Right, but they're not targeting us. That means there's no group called Jews for Buddha. There are Jews.
When you listen to then these Jews for Jesus and whatnot, or in the different debates, what draws them to believe all that? Because faith is beyond knowledge and understanding. So how are you what are you listening to them, and what are they saying, and then how are you getting them to even consider what the Torah is saying?
So I used to believe Jews for Jesus. I used to believe Chosen People Ministries. I used to believe their rantings, meaning their claim is that if you just look in the Jewish Bible, Jesus there, he's bouncing off every page. Now, what you do, of course, is go, that's an amazing claim. It's a fantastic claim that our Tanakh, which was written, Isaiah was 700 years before Christianity. The Torah is 1,300 years older than Christianity. That's amazing. But when you go back to the original text and say, well, let me check this out, you find that nothing could be further from the truth, and that, in fact, Christian translators have altered the Jewish scriptures. New Testament authors have this is not a misunderstanding. I mean, this is not like Buddhism, whatever. It's not like Eastern religions just came up with something. These people, this is really malevolent. I mean, they really, with intent and foreknowledge, altered the Jewish scriptures in order to make it appear Christological. You live in a part of the world where there are a lot of evangelical Christians, a lot of them. As it turns out, strangely, for some odd reason, in all the Christian schools that you find in the United States, every Catholic school in America providing education for children, not just Christian children, but others, none of them teach Hebrew to children. None of them, zero. I don't even have to ask you. I know they did. Now, some prep schools do teach Latin and teach all sorts of other, but not the original language of the Bible that these Christians believe is the Word of God. That is mind-blowing. Of course, once you go to university, then you can take all sorts of courses in biblical Hebrew, but then you're 20 years old. It's too late. So what happens is that a Jewish kid who goes to yeshiva, goes to a Jewish day school, that's what you learn immediately is the language of the Tanakh so that you can read it in the original. so that you can have access. That's the first thing, is that empowerment. There actually is not a Christian school in America. Just blow your mind away. Not a Christian school in America, for children, that teaches Hebrew. And therefore, all Christians utterly rely on translators who have participated in this game, 3-card Monte of the Bible. It's a bait and switch game. It's really not pretty. And I expose that, and I need to. It's not what I want to say it's not what I want to. I'm very pleased to do this. I'm pretty much alone in this effort, but thank God I reach millions of people through our channel. Christians just have no idea, because if you're a Catholic, you're reading a Jerusalem Bible, you're reading a Catholic Bible. If you're a Protestant, you're reading a King James. That's completely filtered, and I'm using very strong language, corrupted by the church. And you don't have a shot at knowing what the actual original says. And that's part of what I do. Now, I want to make this point. This really goes to your question. This is like the big point. So I used to believe that if you just demonstrated to Jews who are in the church that, look, the text was changed. Isaiah doesn't say a virgin as Matthew 1:23 would have us believe. There's nothing in Isaiah 7:14 that says that. And the text was also, I thought they would go, oh, I didn't know. I guess if that's true, and Isaiah 53 is not about a suffering Messiah, well, then they would just pack up and leave. Just like if I told you the stock you invested in is about to nosedive, you would get rid of it as quickly as possible. Just give me new information. But it didn't happen that easily. And I realized that there's something going on underneath all this. And what it really is, two things. People struggle with self-esteem. They really do. People very often struggle with their self-image. When they look in the mirror, they don't see something attractive. They feel like they've done something awful. They feel like bad people. This is when people struggle, when people make really bad choices in life, very frequently it's not out of a high self-esteem. And Christianity, evangelical Christianity, nourishes that. Instead of explaining to someone that you can do it, says that you're a sinner. You were born in sin. That's your baggage and your constant companion. And there's only one way to escape your destiny, and that's believe in Jesus. And that is the motherlode. That's the disaster of the message. So number one, people feel that I'm going to go to hell if I don't believe in Jesus. Why? Because I'm a sinner, I'm lost. And then Jesus is like the perfect person. He's nothing like you. He can save you because he's sinless, and you're definitely not. And that's why people grow to love Christianity and love Jesus. And it's not the text. The text coming only after in order to sustain what they already want to believe. And you've got to understand that aspect of Christianity in order to be able to address it.